starting our first episode on the Zaantu Podcast, and that's today. And we're going to be talking about artificial intelligence and jobs in Africa. So it's the 10th day of July 2025, and my name is Martin Tumine, the CEO at Zaantu Technologies. And basically, what we do is City as a Service, where we support organizations and help them with their technology and also help create great teams for them. And my co-host, Jude Valentino, you can introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Jude Valentino. First of all, welcome to our podcast. And here we shall be talking about AI and different tech jobs that are in the workspace in Africa. So, first of all, I am the COO at Zaantu Capital, which is a branch of Zaantu Technologies. And yes, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here.
All right, nice to have you, Jude, on this first podcast. So recently we had an event on Saturday, that was 5th of July. We had the Investor Ready Summit, and that was more focused more on the other arm of Zaantu, where we are helping to connect investors to people who are looking uh, for money to invest in their businesses. And we had a really great event. We had about like five local investment firms within Uganda, and we had about five entrepreneurs on that day, and had one really good pitch, and most likely they're going to be funded, and that was Counterbook, and probably we'll also have them on in our podcast as well. So basically, this podcast is more focused on technology and talking about different kinds technology-wise in Africa and beyond. Today's topic is AI and jobs. We've been talking about AI quite a bit, and I also noticed that also other people are talking about AI and actually how it's going to affect them and also their jobs. And we're thinking about how it's going to impact maybe in the next 10 years or so. And yeah, Jude, you've been doing some numbers and doing some sort of research in terms of AI. And what research have you found out? This might even just span even just beyond Africa itself.
Well, yes. So first of all, me as a person who is doing my best to get into the tech side, things like software engineering and all of that, we all know that AI is getting better at programming and so on and so forth. So many of us are scared that AI is coming in to take over our jobs and all of that, and things things that were scary for what we expect as a human race, because humans shall always be scared about the unknown, things that we don't know so much about. So I did some research about artificial intelligence. We have different models. We have a lot of models of artificial intelligence. We have the cloud. We have Gemini. We have OpenAI's ChatGPT. We have Alibaba's Queen AI. We have there are quite many. There are quite many AI models that are out there. So I did some research about some of them, and indeed, they really got better than before. I remember the first time when AI was trying to generate a video of that was the actor Will Smith eating spaghetti. It was too terrible by then. But if you are to look at what AI can generate right now, for example, Sora AI is a model of ChatGPT, OpenAI, sorry, is a model of OpenAI that generates videos and images. Right now, it's way, way better than it was before.
Mhm.
So yeah, AI is getting better, better and better each day. And truthfully speaking, we are all scared. We are all scared of what comes with it getting better. So yeah, I did some research, and I found out that not only has it got better doing some of those things, but it has also created some new jobs around. I heard that there's a job called prompt engineering. So a prompt engineer is just a person who helps who engineers prompts that we feed into artificial intelligence to get better results out of it. So yeah, there's prompt engineering. There is another one called an AI trainer, where you train AIs in different skill sets. For example, maybe someone wants to use AI for diagnosing patient's eyes. You are an eye specialist. You want it to be an eye specialist. So he comes in and helps you train the AI model according to that. And then yeah, there are quite many other jobs that I thought of, but due to time, I'll keep it for another time. So yes, that's what I have for. That's this about the AI for now.
So you mentioned something very interesting. You're looking at how AI is getting very good with creating videos, right? And it just took me to the days. Yes, we actually still in those days, but you know how people have sort of moved on from just drawing like handwritten paper into, especially with animation, and then they moved into computer graphics. We still have people who actually still draw on a piece of paper and are able to sort of like translate that into like motion capture and things like that, right?
Yes,
Now, looking at how things are moving, and people who have been getting into like the whole, oh, I'm learning how to create video through learning like things like Blender and other kinds of software that actually help create like these 3D animations. Now AI now seamlessly just does that, put in a prompt, and then it's able to sort of like generate a video that you can actually watch, or some sort of cartoon that you can actually watch, right? Based off of what's now happening. So we have like VO3, which is from Google, Sora, and other models. Other kinds of models are actually also able to create videos, and they're quite stunning. Just today in the morning, my wife was showing me a video about an earthquake that happened, and seemingly I think it was like trying to depict the parliament of Bolivia, and something like I think it was some sort of like a wall collapsing, and there was something just slightly off about the wall, and I was like, okay, this is a bit weird, but I still believe that actually it happened. So something like I think it was the parliament that actually collapsed, so
yes,
depicting in Bolivia, like collapsing in Bolivia. And when I went to do a little bit of more research, it was actually fake. It was actually fake news. And I was like, whoa. Now imagine this in the next 5 years and how believable it's going to be. Because there was still something slightly off, right? But imagine this now in the next 5 years, it might be so believable that you might actually now say, okay, this is so real, right? So you know how people have been doing like fake videos, and now AI is now just doing that. So it's just taking that up in a sense. So obviously there's been a whole transcendence of jobs, and how jobs have changed over a long period of time. Not even mention also software engineers, how junior engineers have sort of, I would say, in quotes, slightly been replaced by AI in a sense, right? So I have a friend of mine who was saying that if any of you junior engineers think that you're all that, you're actually not all that, simply because now I can just pay for something for AI, and then have it create something for me in just a couple of hours. It's very interesting because a few days ago I was working on some project, and it's something that I've been putting off for a long period of time. And I said, okay, I need to get this done and get it out of the way. And I said, how am I going to do this? Let me just experiment with Gemini CLI and see how far I can get along with actually creating this product. And in just 6 hours, I was able to actually have a demo to showcase to the client. And I was like, whoa, okay. So something that would actually take us software engineers like 2 months, 3 months, to organize, plan, write the code, test. It was able to do in 6 hours. However, I'm sure there were still some things within the code that could have been improved. But this just shows this just goes on to just show the scale of what AI can actually do in terms of taking over our jobs, but also at the same time, you mentioned fear that we are scared that AI might take our jobs. I'm not necessarily scared in that AI is going to take our jobs. I'm actually more like I feel blessed because now I can do so much more. I mean, think about it this way. If you're scared about AI taking your job, think about it this way. Now, me as a software engineer for the past 12 years, I've worked on quite a number of projects and I know how long they take. I've met clients who probably want something done within maybe a month or even 4 months. And I'm like, and I push back and I say, we can't have that in 4 months. Okay, that's impossible due to the complexity of the project that you want. However, we can do this in the next 3 months. I've also gone to hear about projects that have taken like over a year or a year and a half to actually get done, right? And when I sit back and I look at that, and then I look at AI and I see how it can help me build an application in 6 hours, a demo in 6 hours. And if I'm to just stretch that a little bit, maybe to 3 days, I'm sure I can have a ready product in the next 3 days, ready for a client who's ready to pay for that. So I just see the exhilaration and I see more opportunities opening wider. I've also seen opportunities in terms of more complex software projects that could actually be worked on. And now I'm looking and I'm like, oh, okay, so if this is the project that I need to work on, then maybe I can use AI to help me simplify the process, right? And now I can literally see companies in Africa who are actually using AI around, what they're trying to do, doing something that actually the global space can actually take on, in a sense, just due to complexity. And I see that happening. And that's what we're trying to do here at Zaantu, where we are literally looking at how do we automate processes for businesses and help them uh, focus more on growing the revenue rather than managing things that simply just waste their time, in a sense, right? So I see that as a huge opportunity. So yes, AI might seemingly have replaced certain jobs, but it's going to make your tasks easier. If you're an animator, you could look at maybe one of the most rigorous and maybe strenuous tasks as an animator, right? And you're supposed to make some sort of animation and you're supposed to move maybe like joints and fingers and things like that. And it takes a really long period of time because I do know that if you're just doing it the more traditional way, because now we're not doing it traditionally, now you have the advent of AI to help you do the more rigorous things, even come up with a more complete process if you're doing something similar to animation. And I see that as an opportunity, not as a job taken away, but actually as an opportunity. Now you have the ability to actually go ahead and create a cartoon, right? And you're an animator, you can get and create like a cartoon and create a story around that. You can create so much. So what would have taken you millions of dollars to do, you can do it with not so much anymore. And now I see people have the power to go ahead and create great products and services that they can actually give to the world. And I see that. But why not? But why are people not seeing that opportunity? Why do you think, Jude? You said you were scared. Why are you not seeing that opportunity?
Well, it's just that people are just taking time to adapt to some of these things.
Mhm.
So we as humans, we are always adapting to new things. There were times when we had hair all over our bodies, but now our faces, some of the faces are clear. It's just the beards that keep on staying there. But yeah, it's just that I think people are taking their time to adapt. And there's one thing that maybe we don't know, we're not getting into our heads, that AI has come to stay. There is nowhere it's going, it has come to stay. So you either adapt or you are thrown under the bus. So
Mhm.
you have to adapt and know that yes, AI has come. It may take over my job, but how best can I use it to make my job easier? Uh, there is this thing where artists are saying that AI is unethical because it's trained on their own art, you know,
Mm,
because they get their art and then they train it using their own art, and it's taking over all their jobs. But truth is, AI has come to stay, and there is nothing much we can do about it. So you adapt to it, look for another solution, because once something has happened in the past, there is no way you're going to go back in the past. You're not going to travel back and change that thing. So
mm.
what is making most people fail to realize the benefits of AI is adapting. People have failed to adapt.
Mhm.
Yes, that's a very big problem that people have to look into.
Okay, so that's very interesting because you're looking at adaptation, right? Adapting to AI and maybe use of AI, and I would understand, and I would say, okay, yeah, people are going to push back. Obviously, in recent or in the whole of history, if there's something new that comes, people obviously first reject it, and then it's slowly integrated into the society, and that normally happens. People are more resistant to change, and that we understand. The human mind is more wired to look at comfort, to be more comfortable than to be uncomfortable in a sense. However, it's now the uncomfortable grounds that where we actually grow and evolve and become much, much better in a sense, right? Now, um, just think about it this way. Okay, so let's say you're a guy, you talked about having hair all over yourself. So let's say you're a guy and uh, you cannot find a mate simply because of the way you look. You're raggedy. You have to
Mhm.
adapt and make yourself look much more attractive. So shave off the hair, get a good trim, get a good haircut, shape yourself well, and then you're able to actually get a good mate in a sense. So you are literally adapting to what the society is sort of calling you to do in a sense, right? So how long are people going to say they're going to keep adapting to AI? How long? Because now we have companies that have literally skyrocketed their revenue in the shortest period of time. If I'm looking at the numbers from YC Combinator and all these other big firms, we're literally seeing businesses reaching $1 billion status within the shortest period of time. So with AI, you can actually accelerate your business moving forward. And I see that as really good opportunity. So if you're in the position where you feel like, oh, I'm a junior individual in a specific kind of field and I cannot really compete because AI is doing what I can do in a sense, right? That's reason not to be scared. That's reason not to say I can't do this. That's actually more enough reason to actually pursue your dream. If I'm think about it, because in most cases you're probably looking for money to help you. So you're probably looking for a job to help you get the money that you need to set yourself up, right? However, now you can use the AI to help you get the money, or you can use the AI to help you pursue your dream in a sense. I recently saw an article, and I think the article was the title of the article was, I think, AI helps a woman pay off all of her debt. I think, right? So we're talking about all of these opportunities to actually get smarter. Like all these opportunities to actually get so much more smarter, and not everybody is seeing these opportunities. So I don't think AI, yes, AI may have taken away your work for
Mm.
some of you or for some of us, but AI is going to make you much more productive and much more effective in another direction. Yes, Jid.
Yes, actually, there's something that has stood out for me in what you're saying. Um, I think you have used AI in some of your coding projects, and truthfully speaking, there is no way you are going to use AI as good. I mean, you're not going to use AI to code as good as a person who knows how to code would use it.
Mhm.
Reason being, AI up till now is still having some issues that you who has no background in programming might not know. But a person who has done programming will better use it better than a person who doesn't, because he can notice some of these issues. Just like you said, you were doing some things and you would notice that this can be done better. But a person who has not programmed before will look at it and say, this is something, it's okay, it's okay. And then by the time they deploy the thing, it's not scalable. It's always, breaking down. So, I mean, a person who has done art, who knows some art, and you're using, you're doing animation, and you know how to, you have studied most of these things, and you're using generate for you, let's say, an animation. Me, who has never done animations before, I will look at it and say, that's fine. And yet, in fact, it's not fine. But me, who has done animation, I can do better. I can use AI to make it do something better. So let us not give up on some of our dreams just because AI has come and people are saying it's taking over jobs and what and what. No, 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 no. The truth is, you can't use AI to that extent if you have no clue of what it is doing. Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
All right. So just wrap this up. Looking at the whole AI bit in a sense, I do believe that AI may have replaced some jobs, but AI is going to help you work on your dreams. That's my takeaway from all of this. Do you have a takeaway, Jude?
Yes. My takeaway is adapt. Adapt
Mhm.
no circumstances, because AI has come to stay and it's not going anywhere. There were times when calculators were very big, were seen as something that is, oh, you don't know math because you're using a calculator or something like that.
Mhm.
But nowadays calculators are everywhere. Some people, and it's seen, it's no, even now we even go with it in exams. You used to go with it in tests and what. But there were times when calculators were seen as something not not good. But yeah, so let's adapt, just like we adopted putting on clothes and all that and what. Let's adopt, because if you don't adopt, where where this the future of the world is going,
Mhm.
you are going to be left under the bus. So please adopt, adopt, adopt.
Okay, guys. All right. Thank you very much. That's been our first episode as the Zaantu Podcast. And I hope to see you guys in our next episode or hear from you guys. If you have any questions, do send them in the comments. For those of you who are watching on YouTube or LinkedIn or anywhere else. And take care. Till next time. Bye.